Just like with the other tessellations, you have to number your corners 1, 2, 3, and 4. For this one, you're going to work using corners 2, 3, and 4, and it's going to create like a diagonal. You'll see I want to make this into Hawkeye, so I start with his arrow. What your design will have to do is something will have to go from corner 2 to corner 4, and from corner 3 to corner 4. So basically, I'm going to bring up the bow of his arrow from corner 2 to corner 4, and then the other side of the bow will go from corner 3 to corner 4. And you'll see, I have to draw the arrow first and kind of divide up the space evenly, but as the video goes, you'll see me spread that out so that I'm filling up kind of the right-hand sides of my picture. Now that I've drawn the lines that I need from my corners, I'm just going to start cutting that out and tape everything together so that I know what my final shape's going to look like. And then once that's figured out, I know where I can put Hawkeye and what kind of space I have to work with. So I'm really carefully going to cut out everything, but I want to make sure that my pieces are all together. I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of confetti. So I want to basically be cutting out 2 solid pieces. Now that my pieces are cut out, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You can see here the pieces on the right side, so from corner 2 to corner 4, I flip over. So see how that doesn't match? That's how it starts. Then I flip it over, and then I slide it over to the left and attach it to edge 1 to 3 with some tape. Now, when it comes to the bottom piece, I'm going to flip it like I did the side, and bring it up to the top and attach it with some tape. And now that I have my final shape with everything being taped together, I can start trying to draw the image of Hawkeye in there. I think it's easier to cut everything out and piece it together, and then once you have a big, final shape, you can draw what you need in there rather than trying to draw it, before you cut it out when you're doing this kind of tessellation. Now, in order for you to put this tessellation on your big paper, you're going to have to create 2 of it. And this is going to be where you can make a decision if you want to make 2 of exactly the same thing, like so 2 Hawkeyes that you just need 2 pieces to work with, or if you wanted to make like 2 different characters, or 2 different shapes or things that like a cupcake and a cookie or something that repeat and make a pattern. Your project has to have a pattern, so you can decide if you want it to be the whole image changing to be the pattern, or again just like the colors or something, small, like the background color, or the color of the character's outfit or whatever. In order to get a second copy, rather than creating a whole new tessellation from scratch, I'm just tracing the tessellation I just made. And what you want to happen is, you want to keep it as exact as you possibly can. So it's really important that when you do the trace, you keep your paper really still and you try to make it as accurate as you possibly can. I like using a mechanical pencil because I think you can get more precise lines. You can see at this point I start cutting out my tessellation, and I'm trying to make sure that my cuts are accurate so that both pieces are the same size. Because this tessellation is a reflection, we need to make an extra piece of paper, because if we didn't have it, you would have to basically be using the front and the back of your original piece of paper to make the design, because it'd be like you'd have to have it the front design and then the back design next to it, and that won't work because you need to put graphite on one side to transfer your image. So what you want to do is line the two copies of your image up so that they're exact, and now that they're exact, you want to flip it over, and on the back, or if it was one piece of paper, it would be the back side, if that makes sense. That's where you're going to want to draw either the same thing if you want the image to be the same in every tessellation, or you would want to draw a different thing. So in the example that I have in the classroom, I did a Hawkeye and a Black Widow. You could just do two of like the same. I could have done two Hawkeyes, or I could have done even something different than the Black Widow, but you have to decide how you want to do that.